friends. I want to say about last week I did a haul video and I included some items that I picked up at Walmart. You know, they have crafty stuff and sometimes they have some really cool stuff and sometimes, nah, you know, nothing to write home about. But I picked up this set of professional artist markers, mostly to review them for you guys, but also because sometimes there's certain colors I just use a lot of. I don't know, I just want to try them out. So I wanted to have a little cheap, kind of inexpensive thing that I can just pull out and work them real quick. I will say, you know, I have Copics, obviously I have Spectrum Noir, diamond press markers, all these different things, and I mean, they're all great. I mean, some are obviously better than others, but I have Copic being like the king of them, right? But they are not inexpensive, and for that reason, I just don't use them, even though I have the basic colors you would want for like flowers and skin tones and things like that. But, you know, I just never go for them. I always grab other things. But in that video, I showed you this guy. It was a 40-piece set. They do have, I think, an 18 or 20-piece set at the store. So at the store. I think this was just under 40 bucks, like 38 or 39. I can't remember right now. But when I went to link it for you guys, because I thought, oh, well, in case you want to check it out in that video, I couldn't even find the 40-piece one on the Walmart site, but they had an 80-piece set for $34.99 every day. And I'm like, what? So I went ahead and ordered it. I will link it there in the little like shopping bag or maybe down at the bottom. Sometimes YouTube will run the little products there. They only do that for the companies that they work affiliate relationships with. So if you use that, that does mean I'll make a small commission from it. So thank you for using those if you would like. I will link it because I was like, that is obviously a way better deal. It costs less and you get twice as many markers. And I haven't even looked at it, to be honest. This just got delivered. Well, it had just gotten delivered. I hadn't taken it out of the box until today because it's been crazy here. But it's the same, you know, like yellow 11, LY 11, and this one also has the same thing. And I have a feeling these are probably very similar to a lot of the, you know, off-brand markers you might find here and there. But we're going to try them out today. So it's the Royal Langnickel, right? And that's a good company. Azure alcohol ink markers. So what I'm going to do is try them out with the mixed media paper by Canson, which is a great company. I just don't know that this is actually good for this kind of stuff. So either way, we're going to try it out. I want to swatch everything. They're all mixed up. That's the other thing. I'm like, why? So this is good. Just some heavyweight white cardstock. We'll just try the colors. I do want to show you again. This one you can pick up in store. This one is not in store, at least not that I've seen it. And I don't even think on the website it says it's in store. But it's twice as many. So you know, for me, and they have like free shipping too. So this is the way to go, at least in my opinion. I love the boxes. Very similar, again, to a lot of these kind of off-brands. I like this stayed up at the top. Actually, I'll probably glue that in place or stick it in a way that it stays there, because that's good. I noticed on the other one it was just kind of there, and then you have to kind of try to find its way into this. I do love how it has this little separator that keeps them steady. Obviously, if you pull them all at once, it's just going to fall. Well, I don't know if it would just fall. That's weird. What's holding it up? I'm like, I thought there was like an edge that's kind of holding it up. But no, it's just there. I don't know. There's got to be something in there. This one, the smaller set, I believe does not have that. Maybe that's why they're so wobbly. I was like, I just noticed that this was just like... Also, this was at the store, and I think maybe somebody opened it and looked at it. I don't think they took the thing, but either way. Oh, this one has it down at the bottom. That's the difference. Maybe this is supposed to be down at the bottom. That's weird. Anyway, the separator is way down there, but it's very wobbly since it's so low. Just something I've noticed because it doesn't... I don't like the way they're not really sitting where they're supposed to. Anyway, it's all jumbled. So what I'm going to do, and maybe this isn't the day to take time to do this because I have to get moving, guys. I got to make some videos before I get my wisdom teeth pulled here. I'm going to go through and separate them in how I think they should be. Like, obviously, the yellows and orange. Probably Roy G. Biv, guys. That's what I like. I do like the blender and the black just being up here. So maybe from there, I'm going to grab, like... Looking at the reds, we have red 4. Oh, my goodness. Is the lower number that I see. Red 6. And then just go like that. Oh, my gosh, sorry. So I'm going to go through them. Switch them out. Maybe I'll keep these guys out whenever I pull it out, because red 9, red 10, and then it goes into violet and pinks. I might do the pinks and purples at the end, like go from purple to pink, right? Something like that. So I'm going to try my best. The things that are obviously red, orange, yellow, you know, there's only like one orange. I feel like I have a set that's similar to this that I picked up one time. Actually, there's not only one orange. There are 3. I was going to say there should be at least 3. Okay. 1, 3 and 4 can go over here. All right, I'm gonna go through, and they do have flesh tones. It says flesh tone, flesh tone, flesh tone. That's cool. But okay, I will be right back. Unfortunately, as I was going to get like the 5th and 6th, or like, you know, these guys in here, I couldn't get them out. I'm like, what is going on? I remember how I was like, what's holding this thing up? I wasn't sure. It was like impossible to pull them out, so they were getting stuck like on the caps, I think. So I took them all out, so which is great, yeah. And this looks like this. So it has like these little pegs here, and I just pushed all the way down. So unfortunately, it's gonna have to go down because it was just like impossible to get these guys out. They would get stuck like here. I don't know how to explain it. As I'm trying to pull them up, the bottom of that area would get stuck, and it was just breaking my nails. So I'm like, okay, just take them out. I thought maybe it does fit down lower, and it does. So that's pretty much what's going on here. It's down at the bottom, so that's okay. All right, I'm gonna keep working. So I'm gonna put this other one to the side because I probably won't be holding on to that. Taking that one back. I like the pricing of this other one better. Again, this is just heavyweight cardstock, so nothing special. And then we'll try the mixed media just to see if it works. Because, like I said, of all the paper pads they had there, and they had a lot of them, which ones would work with, you know, alcohol ink blending? That one seemed to be the most that looked like it might, even though it doesn't say that. But they do have pictures of whatever they have on there. It does say it has a light grain. And so we'll talk more about that in a minute. But what I'm going to do, obviously black is black, you know, over here. Let's go this way. And I'll just start with the reds. I didn't pay attention to what was facing up. And unfortunately, these don't have like a marker saying like a little gray band like some companies do. That would be like, oh, that's the chisel side. You have no idea. So, I guess that's the other thing we can talk about. Excuse me. That is the other thing we can talk about. There is a chisel and a bullet. And of course I'll be using the bullet side. Mostly, I would say it's not real big. It's not really tiny, so it's a good size little bullet. But you know, that's generally what I use. I'm not going to do that again. I'm just going to go through. They're very juicy, I will say. That felt juicy. And as I put them back this time, I will pay attention to not the chisel, but the bullet point being up, because that's what I like to use the most. That was up this time, but I'm going to go through, and this is color by color as far as the number, and I did arrange it reds, orange, yellow, green, light green, into the greens, into turquoise, because I thought turquoise is kind of greenish blue, right, into the blues, into violet. Violet 10 is reddish for some reason, so we'll see what it actually looks like, and then into the pinks, and then into coral, then into the flesh tones, because some of them start off pretty pink, so I thought, well, that kind of goes with this. Up to here, the flesh tone, then tan, sienna. For tan, they only have 2 of them for some reason. Sienna, they all have 3, basically, you know, so you can do that kind of 3 color blend, but... And then into the browns, and into warm gray, and then into cool gray, and then into gray, blue grays. I figured that just made the most sense for me. Anyway, I will continue. I'll go through and just... go like that so we can see what the reds look like and what super juicy. That's good. Yeah. Look at that. So that's all the reds actually. So I guess I'll move on from there. There are only 4. I don't know if I'm going to keep mixing them. What I planned to do was go into like orange. No, these are the oranges. And, you know, obviously I'm just kind of putting a little bit of color. And then we'll try them out in some kind of coloring after we're done. Because we're got to try out that paper, right? So I'm just putting them in order though, so you can kind of see how this company thinks they should go. And I guess more about the pen, I will say it doesn't roll that much. Obviously it has a flat side. Generally I don't just throw my pens when I'm done, but I'll just place it down, but it's not going to go anywhere once you place it, right? So, alright, I will swatch them all out. Those are oranges, and I'll just keep going. Hey guys, so pretty when I look at swatch. Love colors. Okay, looks good. I didn't try to blend them. I just stacked them, and then I thought, well, I'm probably gonna keep this with this, and man, this thing could have been tucked somewhere else. I think that would have been better, but that's okay. It just is there. But it'll fit in here once I trim this piece off, and I'll just always keep it there. Yeah, so red, 4, 6, 9, 10. These first 3 look like they blend pretty well. I mean, if you're doing like a shadow or something, that might work out okay. The orange, it almost looks the same. The colors look almost the same here. They did look different before. Maybe that middle one looks a little bit darker. I don't know, but that's how it is. The yellow, They very much blend, I think, one to the other pretty well. Yellow green, I love this. Oh my gosh, the light green, yeah. I like these colors. I think they're very pretty. Green, those shades pretty much go, like these two look almost the same. I know there's a couple of grays that look literally the same, but there you go. So turquoise, beautiful. Blue, kind of odd. Again, the number system, you know, Crafter's Companion, when they would do their numbering, a lot of times they said it doesn't really mean that it's this one, then this one, then this one. It's like not in order. At least the old markers, right? I don't know what they're doing nowadays. But I don't know why the numbers can't just go. So if you say 1, 2, 3, it's 1, 2, 3, right? Not 1, 6, and then 4 or something weird like that. But that blue is kind of all over the place. Violet, again, I don't know what, this one's very plummy, very red almost. But you have that there. It's, you know, pink, very pretty. I don't know what this one bright pink, those to me blend, and then you have this bright pink that maybe, again, you can take that and mix it with some other color. I kind of do that sometimes with the Diamond Press colors. Coral, flesh tones are really bright, really pink or peachy, and some tan, you know, kind of colors. This is their tan, and this is their sienna. For me, all these tones right here, I would use these and these for like hair and everything like that, and then into the grays, you know, do the warm gray with like black or whatever. But I hardly ever use black. I just keep pumping up the color of like the gray, or even the cool gray. I think even the blue gray actually for hair, like black hair. But anyway, and then the browns, I mean, these two almost look exactly the same, but they must be just a little tad different that, you know, it's good. Warm gray, again, very similar to these two, but this one has a little more yellow tone to it. These almost look exactly the same. Cool gray, again, 1 and 2 are very, very similar, and blue gray. So what I'm going to do is take some of this paper and, you know, I'll just take a piece out. Generally when I do my stamping, I'll take a whole sheet like this or whatever. You know, I usually use Crafter's Companion paper, and you can see how white this is compared to this. It's not as white. That's one thing to note. It does say it has a light grain. I will say it's less grainy on the back side, so maybe that's the side I want to work with today. I think that's probably what I'll do. I'm going to grab, you know, just some image. We'll stamp it, and then we'll color and see how it goes. Gosh, you guys, you know, I don't do a lot of stamping and coloring, but you know I have stamps. It was really hard for me to find something, so I'm going to do this, even though, you know, just keep it basic. So like red, and then, you know, whatever we want to color our berries. Maybe we'll do a leaf, and maybe we'll do one of the flowers from here. So I'm just going to take a moment to stamp some things. With alcohol ink markers, you want to use like a hybrid ink or a water-based ink. Okay, so hybrid inks, you have to let them dry completely, but it will be okay if you use it with alcohol ink. Water-based inks, because the water will not reactivate, right? The dye ink won't reactivate because you used, you know, alcohol ink on them. They will reactivate if you use like watercolors or water-based markers. But anyhow, so let me just stamp a few things. Oh, missed that one, but it's okay. This is just for little sampling of that guy, maybe this berry, and then maybe one of the little flowers. So we'll try out some of the different colors, and I'll try to make sure I'm pressing down in all areas so we don't miss anything. That's better. I'll clean these up afterwards. Right now I'm just trying to get some stuff stamped. Okay, and a little flower. Okay, so this is a hybrid ink, so I do need to let it dry completely before you go in, or else it will smear, like right away. So, I will be back closer. We have our colors here, and I have my pens here, obviously, so I'll just grab them as I need them. But, you know, whenever I have something like that, it's kind of small, and I don't want to spend too much time. I always start with the darkest color right down the center, and then go from there. So, like, if I'm going to make it green, maybe I use these top 3, like 6, 9, and 10. So I'll grab, like, 10, and just kind of do a little color in here. It is a very dark thing, and if you want it to be more blendy, you can do like streaks like that. You can, a lot of times I'd make mine more when I color it so it looks more like cartoonish, and then I usually come in with the light and then the medium, but right now I'm doing it, well, it depends. It depends on what I'm working on too. So right now I'm just going to pull some of that color out, and again, you can do a circular motion, you can do flicks, you can just lay it on, whatever you like to do. When you do flicking motions, it does blend a little nicer because at the tip it's just flicked, and then it's just a little bit of color instead of having like a harsh line, right? And then I come in with the green, with the lightest color. Or sometimes I start at the tip and come in this way. You know, with this leaf, I've wanted to make it look a little more rounded. Maybe I should have left an area in the center that wasn't colored at all. And then go back again over it, and then it looks lighter because you just hadn't touched it, you know? But the color saturation is really, really good. But again, I went with the darker greens, right, in this green set. So again, I'm starting in the middle and pulling out because what you're basically trying to do is blend this color out. So if you start out here and come this way, you're not going to get that much blending, right? So again, sometimes I start with the light, go into the dark, then medium, then light again. Just depends on the look, what you're trying to go for. Oh, also, we're trying to try out this paper, right? That's pretty good. It has a different feel. It's not as heavy as like the cardstock I've been using. It is a good weight. It says, let's see, it's 120 pound. I mean, that's funny. Because 110 pound is like heavyweight paper that I like to work with, like from Hobby Lobby or if Michaels has it. So that's like 300, 350 GSM. I know that's a big difference, 300, 350, but you know, really heavyweight paper. That doesn't feel like it to me, but you know, it might be the material it's made out of with the pounds and the weight and all that. I don't know. Okay, strawberry. So let's say strawberry. Let's do the light green calyx. Let's do light green again, going from the lightest. And I don't mean light green like this one. I mean this lightest green to these three, right? So the light one to the dark to 6. So it'd be 1, 4, and 1, 2, and 6 on this one. And again, I might start in here, what I think is the darkest area. I'll do the same thing for this guy since we're already here. Just a little something, and then I'll go into the medium color, which for this, it would be the number 2. I did face them all up, so I know as soon as I get it in my hand, my bullet tip is already facing up. Yeah, the paper's doing really well. The other paper I like, if it's not specialty, is obviously Nina paper. Sometimes they have it at Walmart. They probably have it on their online site. Is Bristol paper. That stuff is super thick, but it works really well. But it's not inexpensive. So for me, what I was trying to do is get like an inexpensive paper. And I will say it's not super expensive either. Now, I guess the other thing we can talk about is blending, the blendability of this. If I keep working it, you see I worked this one over a couple times, it's blended much more than this one, where you can definitely see where I stopped, like that round nature there. So just keep blending. And while we're talking about that, let's talk about how color blenders or blenderless, well, blenders are not blenders, guys. And I'll show you an example of what I mean by that. So this one comes with 2. Basically, they're erasers, and I learned that at a scrapbook expo probably 15 years ago from Crazy Creations. Really nice people, lovely people, and I would go to their Copic marker blending workshops, and I mean, they do amazing things. I just like to add color and be happy with that, you know. I will say I like the look of this better than this one. Whatever I did. See, and it's the same colors, and I just... whatever happened, my hand, you know, and it was, however. I did get a little green right there where I don't want it. So you can take your blender. Again, it uses this colorless blender. It doesn't really help you blend. It erases. So like that little bit that's right there, I can either keep going like this. Actually, that went away pretty quickly. What that does is it pushes it through to the back of your paper. So if you make a big mistake, you'll see it. And you'll see on this side, like the green came up here, you know, which you're seeing it anyway, but that's just from our blending. That's what it does. It doesn't blend colors. So I'll come back to that at the end. I'll do like a little mix of colors and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, let's do our little flower, and let's go with some yellow center. And since it's so small, I'll probably just use 8 and 11. So the darkest one and the lightest one. So this is the darkest one, just in the center, which is 11, and I'll take 8 and just kind of. They're super similar in color too. So if you see that your darkest one just kind of blends away, just I'd come back with it again and just add a little more in the center. Very basic on that. And also this flower, usually they're white, right? Little strawberry flowers. So whenever I something like that, I'll take a light color that I feel goes with that kind of flower, but the lightest color, and just give it a little touch of something. So I mean, with this one, maybe a natural color would be nice. I mean, like the tan, or Yeah, I don't know. I usually use like a very light blue, but these are all kind of dark. Maybe even the warm gray, like 1 or 2 would work. Let's do number 2, the warm grays. And I would just add a little something so it doesn't look like you forgot it. You're like, yeah, 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 I got it, you know? Just a little flower, maybe a little something here. And that's it. It just adds a little bit of color. So it doesn't look like you forgot it, but again, it's a white flower, so we'll leave that there. Our little guys, let's do violet on these guys, but what, 16 maybe? 7 and 1? 16, 7, and 1, and if I don't want to forget, I'll put 16, 7, and 1. So 16 is very dark, so what I would do is I would come in and just add a little bit, maybe at the very bottom of your little berry, like this. And you see how that one, I'm not flicking, I'm just making little lines. And then, I mean, I missed this one, there's a little bit there. And then go into 7. I think more and more I'm into reverse coloring like that. So 7. And just, that's a medium color, I'm just kind of blending it into the dark one. More and more I like to do dark, medium, light. But usually you do light, dark, medium, light again. So, I don't know. There's that one. And even with the light, like when I come through with it right now, I can kind of get into that dark and the medium. Kind of color it in, but leave that center part for now. So we're adding a lot of color. So cute. And then you can come back in and do it again and really color it all in. And that'll leave that very center a little bit lighter so it looks a little bit more round because you never touched that to begin with. Hopefully that makes sense. And you know, I made the darker here. You can put darker areas in between each little, what do they call these? That's interesting. I never thought about that. The little, each little like area. There's got to be a name for it, right? Not too bad. And they say when you do alcoholic marker coloring, it should soak the paper so much that it pretty much like the same thing you're seeing up here, you should see it back here. So apparently, and obviously I don't do enough, but that's how you get the real true color of the marker. Just something to think about. Okay, let me put these guys back. And then we need to do, I need to pay attention and make sure, see, I'm already putting them back any old way. That way I know they're ready to go. And I'm sure if you wanted to like take a marker or something and put like a little mark on each one so you know that's the bullet tip, you know, you can definitely do that. I think I'm going to take yellow again, probably number 7. Oh, here, emergency vehicle. Hopefully they don't do it again. And I'm going to go and dot in each one of these little guys, okay? Just doot, 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 and I'll be right back. I think that's everyone. And so that's yellow 7. Put the bullet tip facing up. And we're going to do red. So I think as far as these reds, you know, this one seems way out there to me. And it almost seems like it might even blend with some of these other brown colors, but maybe not. So I don't know. Let's do 9, 6, and 4. And I honestly, they're very close in color. So let's go for it. And then with 9, I'm just going to go in here, like under the little calyx. Maybe not so harsh. I'm kind of, usually follow the line and then just kind of bring it out. Okay, there's, if I had this complete, there was a little bit more over there, but sorry guys. So let's just do that. And then I can go into medium, which is 6. Like I said, there's not a huge difference in all these colors. They're very similar. Maybe I'll take more of this one. And there. And then the lightest color. I hope, yeah, make sure. Again, you're kind of going over the same areas. And something like this is not that easy because you have all these little seeds you want to avoid. So I'm just going to go through and finish that up. Okay. It's a really bright red. It's pretty. I can see that, you know, for Christmas and flowers and everything. That's a pretty red. Again, this one's funky. I mean, if you wanted to bring this guy in and just kind of bring it in here, it's just a very dark color, and that's fine. You know, it still works. Like I see why they have this one in here. It's really pretty. I mean, actually, just doing that. Look at that. That made it pop, didn't it? So pretty. And that's the weird kind of odd red color, but again, with the shadows and all those things, it's really lovely. So I really like having that one. And that's what we're going to do today, guys. I don't know why I didn't finish topping off that little guy. Which ones did I use? I don't even remember. Oh, well, I'm not going to do it again. Because I don't remember which ones I used for that. But there we go. So I'll put these guys back. Oh, I will say, again, blending. Okay, let's say I want to use that blender pen, supposedly. Let's do this. So here's 4. Just putting down some color. These are juicy. 4, 6. And then 9. Again, not a huge difference in color of these guys, in my opinion. So, I mean, they blend pretty well because they almost look like exactly the same, do they not? I mean, this does look different, so there's obviously some kind of variation of the color, but I don't know. So let's say, oh, you know what, I'm just not blending too well. I'm going to use my blender to help me out. All right, well, let's do that. So I'm going to blend this one to this one. Do you see what the blender's doing? It's basically bleaching it. I don't think that looks good. If I had some project and let me have my blender help me blend. It's not doing that. It's erasing the color, you guys. So what I like a blender for, like this, is, I'll just keep playing here, is that you can use it to make patterns if you want, you know, something like that. You can use it to, yeah, I mean, basically that. So let's say you want to do something. It's kind of very 80s of this, isn't it? Like, remember when you were a little kid, you played with, like, some new kind of fangled markers that came out or something, and you're like, oh, you know, I don't know. Just something to think about. It's not really meant to blend. It erases. So, like, let's say this area, I'm just going to keep leaving it there. I'm not doing anything, and I don't know if you can see, it's kind of bleaching away as I leave it there. That's what it's for. It's to help you erase. And look at that, the paper's almost completely white again. And what happens is that red dot, the color gets pushed through. Obviously we have a solid red thing, so it's hard to notice that. But if you were on the edge, let's say you drew something and you colored it out here, and you're like, oh, you want to get rid of it. On that edge, you'll see the color back here. So just some information. Hopefully you guys hung in there. That's very cute. Maybe I'll still die cut them, I don't know. And use them on a project. But yeah, so just a little something super inexpensive. In my opinion, they blend pretty well. I mean, this one looks a little bit rough, but the green looks great. The red, I mean, you just got to play around with it. But for a quick, hopefully quick review, get off without one more emergency vehicle passing by. You know, quick review, super inexpensive. Like I said, I feel like it has some pens that were like this before, and I think I had just found them like at, what's that place called? Not TJ Maxx, Tuesday Morning. Oh, RIP, right? But anyway, yeah, so they're working pretty well. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, I'll keep using them, and we will continue following up on that. Again, the 80 piece, I only found it online with Walmart, so I'll have it right there, and that's way better the deal, obviously, than the 40 piece at the store. But thanks for watching, guys. Before I get too far away, so yeah, so that paper, I mean, do you see it bleeding? I don't think it's even feathering, right? I mean, actually, it's funny now, look at it's like going away, the little pattern I did, which is interesting because that's some strong ink. All right, so there you go. I don't see any feathering. I was able, you saw how many times I went over each thing and even the leaf and everything, and it would normally, if you're just on regular paper, it's going to be feathering, it's going to look bad, it's going to start peeling, like the paper starts peeling up in little bits. So this is good. This is very good because it's something that we can easily find. I'll link it there also. And I think it was like $4 for what, 20 sheets. I mean, you can probably get a whole card's worth of things. Obviously, the larger things you're going to die cut and color. I just normally use the whole piece. I'll cut this away and then I'll use this next time. And now I'll just put it back in the paper pad, so I'll have that. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Have a great day, guys. I'll have everything linked there. For this, since it is Walmart items, it will only be the little shopping bag here. I can't really link it in the description box. I know it's here and there, but hopefully you'll hear my words and know what I'm saying as far as that. If you like the You're My Jam, I will link. that'll be available in the little shopping bag and also written out in the description box if that's easier for you. So I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now. Okay, I know. As I was taking pictures, I was like, well, you know what? It's funny because I used it to make a pattern. The color came back, and I don't know if it's because it's so saturated. Do you think it still helped it look like it blended? I don't know. You know, it would be hard for me to use it oh, help me blend this, because you saw how it was all white and chalky and streaky. I would like freak out. So I don't know. To me, just keep blending. Just keep blending. It's not gonna hurt. Just keep going, and it just looks nicer and nicer. And I'm talking about with your markers itself, not with this colorless blender. But maybe that looks like something to you that works. I don't know. For me, for sure, it works as an eraser. So that's how I use it. All right, guys. That's all. All right. Bye now.